Good evening. It is time to recap UFC Fight Night 183. It's the Iman Report. It is Saturday night, December 19th, the final fight card of 2020 as this year mercifully comes to an end in 12 days. If you like what you see, give this a like and hit that subscribe button. Let give Get notified when I come on air. But this was a very good fight between Jeff Neal and Stephen Thompson. The teacher beat the student tonight. Stephen Thompson, the much more experienced fighter, looked like the much more experienced fighter, made Jeff Neal look like a rookie tonight. This was total domination by Wonder Boy for the majority of this fight, and Jeff Neal just did not have an answer for Wonder Boy tonight. This is a huge win for Wonder Boy as he keeps his top 5 ranking, and it could line him up for a very big fight in 2021. You know, there was a fighter right above Wonder Boy who was supposed to fight tonight, Leon Edwards. He was unfortunately, Dana White had a bounty hunter for him in hazmat. I don't think that fight should stay intact. I think you put Wonder Boy against Leon Edwards sometime in 2021. Wonder Boy versus Edwards would be a very entertaining fight. That could be a very fun 5-round main event on a fight night card, or it could be a good co-main for a pay-per-view. It would solve a lot of questions about Leon Edwards. It would answer a lot of questions about Wonder Boy. It would be a very fun fight. Maybe this could be the win that gets people talking about Leon Edwards as a title contender. This could be or for Wonder Boy, this could be his last run at the belt. Who knows? I think you put 4 versus 5 together in 2021. I think that makes a lot of sense. Wonder Boy looked like vintage Wonder Boy tonight, and he should get rewarded, and I would reward him with Leon Edwards. As for Jeff Neal, this is a setback. Tonight's fight proved he is not ready for top 5 competition in the UFC. He is going to have to take a bit of a step back in the next fight. Maybe a top 15 fighter next. Let's take a look at the welterweight and see who's ranked below him. I think a polished veteran that could fit the bill for Jeff Neal on his next fight is maybe another veteran fighter, but maybe not someone nearly as high as Stephen Thompson. I will go with Robbie Lawler. Lawler, this would be maybe a very winnable fight for Jeff Neal to get back on track and get him a win against a name. I think Jeff Neal versus Robbie Lawler makes a whole lot of sense, and this could be a good tune-up fight for Jeff Neal after getting dominated by Stephen Thompson. I'll go with that. In the co-main event, we had Jose Aldo, who refuses to ride off into the sunset. He goes and gets a win over Marlon Chito Rivera via unanimous decision. All 3 judges had it 29-28 for Aldo. And Aldo is not done. Aldo might have second life at 135. Could Aldo make one more run in 2021? That is a good question. But tonight's win for Jose Aldo will net him a top 5 opportunity in 2021. It could get him a main event opportunity in 2021. And I think there is only one fighter that fits the bill for Jose Aldo's next fight. the returning TJ Dillashaw. Dillashaw versus Aldo would be must-see TV. Give me Aldo versus Dillashaw. That would be a fun main event on a fight night card, or possibly you co-main it on a pay-per-view. That will have eyes. That will have eyes on the bantamweight for sure. Aldo versus Dillashaw. Book it. As for Cheeto, he's maybe not quite ready for top 10 competition at 135. But it doesn't mean he's a bad fighter. He should take a step back. But maybe a fighter like Dominic Cruz. I think Dominic Cruz could be that veteran that could get Cheeto that signature win. I do not wish to see a rematch between O'Malley and Vera at this time, but I think Vera versus Cruz would be something to watch in 2021. See if Dominic Cruz is even still relevant at the 135 division, while a win for Cheeto gets him definitely right back in the mix in the top 10. So I think I will definitely go with Marlon Vera versus Dominic Cruz. The fight before that, Michael Pereira beats Chaos Williams via unanimous decision, 29-28. Chaos suffers his first loss in the UFC. Or Michel Pereira, my bad. Pereira now 25-11. He's now 3-2 in the UFC but this is probably Pereira's best win in the UFC so far. It will likely net him a bigger fight. I say the winner of Zawada and Ameev should be next for him. As for Chaos Williams, he's still a bright prospect. Just got on the wrong side of the judges' scorecards tonight. I'm going to do a little lazy matchmaking with Chaos Williams tonight. I think his next fight should be also against another fight who lost earlier on the fight card. I say Alex Morano. That would be a really good bounce-back fight for both of these fighters. This is one where lazy matchmaking kind of makes sense. I think I'll go with Alex Morano versus Chaos Williams. In the fight before that at bantamweight, welcome to the 135 top 5, Rob Font knocks out Marlon Moraes in the first round. This is Rob Font's biggest win in the UFC to date. And this is his best. This is the Rob Font coming out party. This was the signature win Rob Font needed, and he is going to get a big fight coming up sometime in 2021. Who he gets next? I think Frankie Edgar is the guy. Could be Frankie Edgar would be a good fit. Possibly Corey Sandhagen. But I think I will definitely go with Frankie Edgar would definitely be a good fit. Give me Edgar versus Font in 2021. That would be fireworks right there. As for Marlon Moraes kind of in a bit of a funk right now. Moraes has lost 3 out of his last 4 fights. He's lost to Sandhagen by a KO, loses to Font by knockout. Of course, he's lost to Cejudo, and then a very controversial win against Jose Aldo. He could easily be 0-4. With Dana White looking to cut some fat off the roster, Moraes could be in a must-win situation in his next fight. At this point, Marlon Moraes is going to have to take a bit of a step down in competition. I say next for him should be Merab Dvalishvili. If Dvalishvili wins this fight, it gets Dvalishvili into the top 10. And also, if Moraes loses to Dvalishvili, that could get him in danger of being cut from the promotion. So I think that would be this could be a win or go home fight for Marlon Moraes against Merab Dvalishvili. That's what I'll go with. And the first fight of the main event tonight, Marcin Tybura knocks out the villain Greg Hardy. I loved it. I have never been a big fan of Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy, of course, to me is a paid villain. And Tybura vanquishes the villain in Greg Hardy. He's a bum! But for Tybura, this is a really good win for Tybura. It also shows Greg Hardy is no top 15 fighter. And Tybura right now on a 4-fight winning streak. Granted, not against big names just yet, but still, Tybura's possibly going to get a top 15 fighter next. Has he fought Arlovsky? I'm curious. Let's see if he's fought Arlovsky or not yet. Surprisingly, he hasn't, and I think that should be what's next. Oh, he's beaten Arlovsky. Never mind. Took me a minute to look that up, but yeah, he's fought Arlovsky and he's won. Has he fought Ivanov? Let's see if Tybura has fought Ivanov or not. No, he's not. I think I'll go with that. What should be next for Marcin Tybura? I'm going to go with Blagoy Ivanov. Ivanov ranked 14th. I definitely think Tybura has earned the right to fight a ranked opponent next. Give me the number 14 Blagoy Ivanov versus Marcin Tybura. That should be a fun fight. What should be next for Greg Hardy after that loss? I say you put him up against... He's not going to get cut, unfortunately, but I think he maybe gets another... But I don't think he'll be getting... He could get given another tan, but Tanner Boser. I'm gonna go. I think put Hardy against Boser. That's what should be next. I truly don't care what Hardy gets all that much. I kind of want to see somebody. Kind of want to see Hardy lose enough fights where he gets cut at this point. But tonight, Tybura proved he's a bum. Now on to the prelims. The main fight, the big fight of the prelims. Anthony Pettis beats Alex Morano via unanimous decision. After winning that fight, Anthony Pettis made the announcement he is going to return to 155 to unfortunately try to make another run at the belt. I don't think Pettis is a contender anymore. He's more of a gatekeeper at this point. But he still will probably get a decent fighter next at 155. I suppose Gregor Gillespie could be a fun fight. Pettis versus Gillespie, that's what I'll go with. Gregor hasn't fought in a while. I think Pettis versus Gillespie would be something that could be very entertaining. Nobody wants to fight Gregor Gillespie. And it could give Anthony Pettis one last opportunity to see if he can make one more run at 155. As for Alex Morano, as I said earlier, Chaos Williams, what should be next? Fight before that, Pannie Kianzad beats Sijara Eubanks via unanimous decision. All three judges had it 29-28. What should be next for Kianzad? Ranked number 14. Has she fought Macy Chiasson? She has, and she's lost to Chiasson, so that's... Has she fought Lena Landsberg? No, she hasn't. I think I'll go with Lena Landsberg. That's what should be next for Pannie Kianzad. Make sure Landsberg is not booked. No, she hasn't. So yeah. So yeah, I think I'll go Pannie Kianzad versus Lena Landsberg. The winner of that fight will likely vault into the top 10 at the women's 135 division. As for what should be next for Sijara Eubanks, she's probably going to have to fight somebody out of the rankings at this point. Sijara has lost 2 in a row, and now 3 and 4 in the UFC. But certainly after now that she's lost 2 in a row, she will likely be fighting for her job the next time she is up to fight. It will likely be a loser leaves town coming up for Sijara Eubanks. And Eubanks could also fall out of the ratings out of the rankings at this point. I say give her the loser of Rosa versus Montano is what should be next for Sijara Eubanks. Yeah, the loser of Rosa versus Montano is what should be next for Sijara Eubanks at this point. The fight before that, Darren Wynn beats Antonio Arroyo via unanimous decision. That is the so Wynn staves off getting cut potentially. Arroyo will probably get a debutante next. What should be next for Darren Wynn? Darren Wynn getting back in the win column, no pun intended. But for Darren Wynn, Darren Wynn ranked 49. According to Tapology, and I hope maybe Wynn can consider working with a nutritionist during 2021 and be able to slim down. I really feel like Darren Wynn's best weight class might be at 170. If he were to slim down and get with a nutritionist and get serious about fighting, I don't like the Cormier shape he's kind of in. It might have worked for DC, but it might not exactly work for Darren Wynn. I think for him, Kyle Daukus is what should be next for Darren Wynn. Daukus, another bottom of the food chain at middleweight. Fight before that, Talia Santos beats Julia Robertson via unanimous decision. What is next for Santos? I say Liz Carmouche is what should be next for. No, not Liz Carmouche. Never mind. Okay, the winner of Macy Barber versus Alexa Grasso is what should be next for Talia Santos. I'll go with that. As for what should be next for Jillian Robertson after losing, the loser of Barber versus Grasso. There you go. In the fight before that, Tafon Nishwaki beats Jamie Pickett via unanimous decision. What's next for Tafon? Currently ranked 77 at 205. The winner of Marquez and Rodriguez. I'll go with that. As for what should be next for Pickett's, probably a debutante. Flyweight before that, Jimmy Flick beats Corey Durden via submission. What's next for Jimmy the Brick Flick? This is his first win in the UFC, currently ranked 36 according to Tapology. Probably the winner of Tim Elliott and Jordan Espinoza is what should be next. I'll go with that. And then what should be next for Durden is probably a debutante. And then the first fight of the night, Christos Giagos beats Carlton Minus via unanimous decision. What is next for Giagos? Giagos his first fight back in the UFC since August of last year, currently ranked 51 according to Tapology. I say the winner of Guida and Michael Johnson's what's next for him. As for Carlton Minus, I think he's 0-2 and he's probably going to go bye-bye. Oh yeah, he's Carlton Minus is 0-2. Adios. Adios. I think Carlton Minus is not going to be getting another fight in the UFC. Back to the regional circuit for the bum. And that will conclude it for 2020 for the UFC at this point. We will take a month off and then it'll be on to 2021. What to expect in 2021 from the UFC? Well, probably by the time we have the return of Conor McGregor, that always gets eyes of recreational fans. Possibly the return of fans in the seats for that fight. That is very exciting. Also, the return of fans fans back in the arenas. Probably by, if not January, definitely probably by March or April, we will start seeing fans back in the seats, and the UFC possibly start getting out of the Apex and getting back into arenas. That will be something fun and exciting to watch as these vaccines come more available during 2021. Possibly seeing another headline to watch in 2021 is Israel Adesanya. Can Izzy be a champ? Sometime in 2021, he will fight Jan Blachowicz for the 205 belt. And that would be very fun to see Blachowicz become a champ. And then after being a champ, he fights John Bones Jones at 205. Israel Adesanya might be the guy to watch in 2021. Can Hazmat make the jump to title contender? Chimaev is somebody to watch. We'll see if he can finally be all the hype they are talking about. Chimaev is a guy to watch. That's certainly something to watch out in 2021. How many fighters actually get cut? That's another question. Dana White promising to cut 60 fighters. We'll see how much fat actually gets trimmed when it's all said and done. I never, ever take the words of Dana White that seriously. What other things to watch out for in 2021? Certainly, can Conor win back the belt? That would be something. That's another headline to watch. And of course, there's just going to be some fun, exciting fights coming up in 2021. And it will all kick off with the former champion Max Holloway fighting Calvin Kattar in January. That is going to be a very fun fight. Is Calvin Kattar a bona fide contender? Can Max Holloway get back to winning the belt? That's some very good questions coming up. And also the other big one is, can Charles Oliveira make a run for the belt? After last week's fight, Charles Oliveira is all of a sudden looking like a contender at 155. What big fight could come up for Charles Oliveira? That's what I'm excited to see. There's going to be some exciting fights. I can't wait to see the UFC on the road, back on the road by this summer. It's now just going to be time to weather the storm this winter. Hopefully everybody has a good Christmas, a good New Year's. Please be safe. Keep the gathering small this holidays. I'll be back tomorrow night to recap NFL Week 15. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Stay awesome. Good night.